So, we got Victor Wembanyama just grew 2 more inches and the NBA's terrified. He's still growing? Well, duh, he's like 18, 19 years old. This dude's like 7'11" now. You know what I'm saying? He's like 7'11".
Greatest prospect.
Dude's about to be handing out Slurpees in the crowd too after he gets a block.
He's gonna be really good.
Kevin Durant meets Rudy Gobert.
Everybody's been a unicorn over the last few years, but he's more like an alien for sure.
So you say he's a mix of Kevin Durant and Rudy Gobert?
He's really in trouble when he comes in.
I'm happy that I'm not going to be in the league a long time with that.
He's real thin, and then that makes me think of Greg Oden saying "booey."
I mean, he's going to be playing against grown men. He's going to have to guard those guys on the other end also.
Chet Holmgren, that ain't even playing this year because he's out injured. There is some trepidation.
Just because he's killing people over at the Czech Republic, that he's going to come over here and dominate. I just don't believe
Barkley, you were too fat. Now it's the opposite of you.
Victor Wembanyama has reportedly grown from 7'3" to 7'5", and his wingspan has gone from 7'9" to 8 feet. What are we even talking about? We have already seen what
Yo, you're talking about, oh, he's too skinny, his body is still growing. What are you talking about?
is capable.
That's crazy. He's supposed to do to bulk up and his body's still growing?
What looks like levels of basketball we have never seen before. Wembanyama has never stepped foot on an NBA basketball court, but already we have watched as he has perhaps given us a sneak peek into the NBA's future. A glance into what basketball one day could look like if a guy like Victor Wembanyama puts it all together. The size, the skill set, the basketball IQ, the athleticism, the drive, the need to showcase his ability, and the competitiveness to take on anyone in his way. When it comes to the perfect basketball prospect, it is possible that Victor Wembanyama is quite literally that guy. But yet, we have Charles Barkley saying this.
Everybody wants this kid, and he look like he's great. But you really can't tell until you get to the NBA. I mean, he's going to be playing against grown men. He's going to have to guard those guys on the other end also. Just because he's killing people over at the Czech Republic, that he's going to come over here and dominate. I just don't believe it.
And over the course of time, several
Barkley was too fat, so your opinion doesn't matter here, buddy.
Get adjusted to life in the league, while others not so much. So while it is possible that Victor Wembanyama will have an Anthony Davis-like first season where he needs a bit of strength to get prepared for the NBA, I would say that the evidence here suggests that that is not likely. Because what's up, guys? Mike here, and today we are speaking on the recent news that somehow Victor Wembanyama is, yes, standing.
See, when AD came out, he couldn't shoot the ball. He can barely shoot today. But this man can shoot flat out.
But it was reported that he was 7'3" in shoes before. That is what we are being told, that he has grown 2 inches, and that also he's added 3 inches to his wingspan. Something that might seem unbelievable, but the thing is, over the course of NBA history, we have actually seen this story before. The prospect who is borderline elite even headed into the NBA draft, and then they keep growing even when they're in the NBA. But before we continue, guys, I think he's talking about Kevin Durant. The NBA should be on alert with this Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, because Kevin Durant.
Tired of watching endless
Mike, was that also a word to read?
And control that information.
You have your own website? I don't even know.
News, because
so Kevin Durant was like 6'8" when he came to the NBA. Also, now he's 7 feet tall.
Again, not only have we seen this before, but we've seen it with some of the NBA's brightest stars. Paul George entered the NBA at 6'8". It was then said that as a young player, he grew 2 inches to 6'10", and he is now regarded as one of the best two-way players of this generation. Anthony Davis also famously added at least an inch to his height in his career, and a few years ago, it was said by his teammate Dylan Brooks that Jaren Jackson Jr. grew 2 inches. But perhaps the most famous example of them all comes in the form of Kevin Durant, who entered the NBA at 6'8" and continued to grow to close to 7 feet tall. So again, the fact that Victor Wembanyama is still growing is not only believable here, but also, what if we see
he's believable? Dude's 19 years old. What talking about?
Teenager grow another 2 inches while he is in the league. What if he gets up to 7'7" and he's mobile?
And Anthony Edwards got taller too.
is an absurd
The dude was
thought,
probably like 6'3", now he's 6'5".
but we cannot predict the future. What we can do is take a look at Chuck's statement from earlier and see if it has any merit. Because to be fair, recently Victor Wembanyama has struggled in some games, and just because he's growing, just because he's become taller, does not automatically mean that he is still performing at the level of a top pick. Recently, Victor struggled, shot 3 for 13 in a blowout loss.
First of all, why are you doing shooting 13 threes, man? You're 7'11".
His former team, but all you will see from that game are highlights of him. So at the end of the day here, what is really going on in France when Victor is playing against now professional competition? And because he is regarded as a generational prospect, we are of course going to be comparing Victor Wembanyama to Luka Doncic. Luka is the greatest.
Why is they carrying him?
Victor Wembanyama to Luka Doncic.
Why are they carrying?
Luka is the greatest international prospect we have ever seen, or at least he was. And
I thought it was Bargnani. Remember Bargnani?
It is
Thought it was him. He went number 1.
In the EuroLeague, at least 2 years out from the NBA, Luka performed a bit better. By the way, guys, I am on the grind to 2 million subs here, so if you are enjoying this video, it would be awesome.
Luka looks he's shorter here.
Now,
he got taller too.
Victor averaged 6.4 points a game and 3.9 rebounds, while Luka, he averaged 7.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 4.5 rebounds a game. What really mattered more and what really made Luka the generational prospect that he was, despite not getting picked number 1, was the improvement we saw between the ages of 18 and 19. In his last season playing international basketball, Luka's numbers rose tremendously and he became the youngest EuroLeague MVP to ever live. Meanwhile, Wemby did not play in the EuroLeague this season, so we do not have a direct stat comparison to go off of. However, we are able to see the progress in Wemby's game when we dive into his professional play in France's top league. Because in the top national league in France last season, Wemby averaged just 8.3 points per game and 4.5 rebounds per night. Absolutely great numbers for a teenager, but for a generational prospect playing in France, I think we can all agree we would expect a bit more, and that is exactly what we've seen. This season, Victor Wembanyama has averaged 21.5 points and 9.4 rebounds per game in the top league in France. That means in just one season, we have seen before our eyes Wemby go from a pretty solid player in his league in France to the best player in the entire league. He is leading in points per game, rebounds per game, blocks per game, and PER. On top of this, recently playing for the French national team, this is how he performed.
Upstairs for the throwdown on Wembanyama. Nice take by Alda. Blocked by Wembanyama. Wembanyama ball screen, picks and pops on the three-point line, fires up the
Oh, he's gonna reach. Ain't put a hand up, man.
Three-point line, back-to-back three.
He ain't put it. He gets wide open. No one's putting a hand up.
2 of his team's 72 points.
How'd you go up with that?
17 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 4 steals against the
I know this man is not just do a finger roll. Dude is 7'11" doing finger rolls. Come on, man. Dunk it.
17 rebounds, 6 blocks.
This man 7'11" doing finger rolls. Come on, man. What you gonna do? Floaters next?
And I think it is truly remarkable that the more and more we
Penny Hardaway never did a floater. He was like 6'9" playing point guard. This was like Magic Johnson doing a floater.
Living myth.
Like it's 6'9". What you doing floaters for, man?
I've seen him make 5 threes with the right hand in a row, switch to the left, and make 5 threes. That's the craziest shit I had ever seen in my life. Those are the kind of stories that we hear from Victor Wembanyama over in France. That is what we are about to experience when he is finally in the NBA. I, for one, cannot wait because I do truly believe that he is going to be one of the best rookies we have ever seen. I truly do believe that, especially if he is coming in at 7'5". We have a mobile, 3-point shooting, French, not created in a lab, Yao Ming. That is truly wild. With that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here